G'day, legends. Jai, that Aussie Metal Guy here with Crannk.com. So today, tonight, wherever you are in the world, it's a great pleasure that I'm joined by Rich from Breaking in a Sequence. It's great to catch up again because the last time we spoke with Rich and Joe, we got into a lot of the early journey, the creative chemistry, how things were building around the Defy the Algorithm. Since then, a lot has changed. The band has moved into a new chapter. Definitely well and truly into a new chapter now with the latest single meant to be out there and a whole bunch more on the horizon. I see it feels like a perfect time to dive back in and catch up. Rich, mate, it's great to have you back on.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me again, man. It's been a long time.
Yeah, dude, it's been a few years. I look back at this. And I was chatting to Joe in a group chat, and I think we both didn't realize who we were for a minute. And then I'm like, because a mutual friend of ours is in a band. It's like, oh, you should meet my friend Joe. He's got some new stuff coming out, and and we're in a group chat. And it's like, fuck, I done a cool interview with you a few years ago, dude. We got to do this again. How's it feel now, having meant to be out in the world and coming a little bit closer to an album? I hear as well.
Man, it feels great. I mean, we've had this record done for like a year, right? And just because the powers that be, it didn't get released yet. So now's a good time to actually get one song out, and then we'll get some more songs out, and then get the whole damn record out, so that we can start recording the next record after that, right? But I mean, we it's been a long time since we released any music. I forgot, like, you know, the excitement and the hype around it, like, hey, we're getting to express ourselves creatively again, So I think that's a great feeling.
Yeah, it is a great feeling. That's probably the hardest thing too as a musician. You have all this new music, everything's fucking locked in, going well, and you just want to go, here you go, everybody, listen to this, but you gotta temper yourself a bit. You got other labels and everybody else involved, and you got to promote it, and you got to do it fucking right, eh?
Hmm. It sucks, man. Like, because I would love to just put everything out there into the ether,
Yeah.
but that's what would happen. It would go into the ether and just disappear,
That's the
you
one.
know?
And the last time we spoke, we got into a lot of the earlier chapter, as I mentioned. When you look back at breaking in a sequence now, compared to where things were back 4 years ago, back then, I think 4 years ago when we chatted, what feels most different to you personally with the band?
Um, I don't know. We've just all gotten older. I mean, we've gotten older, and I don't know. We've like settled into our ways, if you will. Um, we know like how to write with each other,
Yeah.
most importantly, right? Because I want to say, what, 3 4 years ago, um, BC had just joined the band, right? When David left. So when BC actually, just leave that there, BC. When he actually joined us, we had this like long feel out process with him. You know what I mean? And now 4 years later, we just know each other. You know, so
Yes. So with BC coming into the band, he did bring in a new energy into the mix as well. From your point of view as a vocalist, what changed in the chemistry when that chapter kind of began with BC? Because he's a fucking amazing drummer and he brought in a real pedigree with him coming in before as well.
yeah. So um, I don't know how many people know this, but when David left, I put down an ultimatum and I said the only drummer I want
We
is
did,
BC Vaught.
yeah, we
Right?
mentioned
I don't,
this.
I didn't even know BC, but I told Joe and the rest of the guys, hey, if we do not get BC Vaught, I'm out. I'm done. Right? So then they got me BC Vaught. Right? So then he came in, and little did I know he hated lead singers. So I had to woo him and win him over. I had to give him a whole bunch of beer and get him drunk, and he finally like opened up to me. And then we started writing together.
Yeah.
But he would give me shit all the time in the beginning, right? Because we actually started to try to write stuff, and then it didn't meld yet. So we got into this incredible situation where some of the old head PE guys came in, and we started playing some head songs. And BC comes to me and he's like, "Hey, we're gonna do some head PE songs with the head OGs, and you're gonna sing." And I said, "Bro, I don't rap." He's like, "You do now."
Yeah.
I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Don't you want to be better?" I'm like, "Yeah." So he got me there. He hornswoggled me. but that helped me learn a lot about how he writes drums, and it helped me learn a lot about vocal rhythms because
Yep.
Jared's a beast.
Yeah.
Jared's a beast. I mean, um, there were over 357 words in one of the songs that I had to learn
Yeah.
for headpiece. So I was like, wow.
Yeah, he's an
So yeah,
absolute
that
beast. I
definitely helped
did
me
catch
grow.
them when they come to Australia. They were here a couple of months ago and did go and catch up with Jared before they played. Shit, fucking awesome band as well. That would have sounded dope. You doing some head PE and the guys fucking rocking that out as well, man.
Yeah, it was definitely a surreal moment. Right? It's cool,
Yeah,
but
dude.
definitely out of my comfort zone.
A lot of fun though, man. That's what it's all about. With Meant to Be kind of coming out, what did you want this song to say about where you and the band are at right now?
Um, I don't know. I just wanted to put new music out,
Yeah.
right? It's not the strongest track of our record, but it's not the weakest track either. And we I don't know. It's different. It's a different track compared to all the other stuff that we've released. And if you actually pay attention and break down all of the influences in the song, you'll hear a shit ton of influences in there.
Yeah.
So um, I think it's a good I think it's a good representation of where we're going.
Yep.
But wait till you get the next few singles too, because that is also a good representation of where we're going.
Yeah, what's the plans? When's this album? Because I didn't get a lot of dates about this, but when's the album due? What kind what's the plans with this going forward, man?
Really, that's up to the label.
Yeah, they haven't put a date on it yet. That's what I thought. I was trying to
Yeah,
find some more dates on it. Shit, I just couldn't get. I usually get presses with all this, and I'm like, let's fucking get into it. The boys will let me know.
yeah. No, there's no dates. There's no set dates yet. But
Yep.
TLG ZOID, um, they wanted to do the first single and just see how that goes, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
after, depending on how long that single is out there and still charting or gaining momentum and numbers, we'll put out the next one after that. And then hopefully with the third single, we'll drop the record.
Yeah, man.
That's at least that's my plan. I don't know what they're
I
gonna tell me.
know. I fucking hope so, man, because I know what it's like. And you guys, last time I chatted to you guys, were really excited about this and what yous were cooking up, and then just wait even longer. So it's just fucking hard sitting there sometimes waiting for this process to kind of to play out. But that means everyone's got to kind of get behind there. And I know how important for you making albums is, and it's hard because some of these companies want to go, EPs or singles and singles, but as an artist and a musician, you want to make fucking albums, you know what I mean? Bring out a whole album and, just have
I just want
people
to write
listening to
music.
it. Yeah, exactly.
I just want to write music, man. Like people have asked me to do a few features, so I'm like doing those. I'm like chomping at the
Yeah.
bit to write more stuff, all the time.
Yeah, back in
But
the earlier material, there was already that balance between the melody, the grit, and definitely the weight in your voice. When you listen to yourself on the newer stuff, how do you think you've evolved the most as a vocalist?
oh man, it's easier for me to listen to. How about that? Um,
Yeah, that's a lot. I
I
know it's like,
It's hard for me to go back and listen to my old stuff just because I'll hear notes that I hit or like progressions and it'll just annoy me, right? Like, and some of the lyrics annoy me. I'm like, oh, why did I say that? Or why did I go this note? Or why didn't I do this type of scream there? Like I'm always picking it apart. And the newer stuff, since it took us so long to like put it together and record it and all that, I'm like super happy with it. I'm super happy with where it's at. And a lot of people who have heard the entire record as a whole, they're like, wow, you guys have really gone to that next step,
Yep.
you know, and, it took all this time. And, even though I was totally against waiting this long and all that, but it took all this time for me to properly meld with BC being
Yep.
the drummer,
Okay.
and that's very important. I think that the synergy between all the band members really shows in the music, right? You can listen to these bands that they don't actually ever get together in a room, and you can tell that there's no like true synergy or feeling behind it. And I think that's the difference from us on this record is we wrote all these songs in a room together, and we play them together, and we have this camaraderie with each other, and we kind of like push and pull off of each other, and it's cool. And I don't think very many bands are doing that these days because they're going into the studio and programming their drums, putting everything on a grid, and tuning the shit out of things instead of, doing it like the old school days where you would just get in that room and do it the way that it should be done, and that's the repetitiveness of tracking it over and over again until you get it right. Because that's what makes you a better player, not going out there and singing it wrong every night, doing it repetitively until you can get it right.
Yeah, and also I suppose with the songwriting process too, would be in being in together instead of all across computers all the time, being able to have that time to vote to playing and songwriting together as a whole band, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. And the way that we do things is super ass backwards, right? Because these guys will jam in a room without me, then they'll send me the recording, I'll listen to it, and then I'll cut it up. Like I'll take out the riffs I don't like, and then I'll restructure the song, put my lyrics over it, send it back, and then they rewrite their parts around me, and then I rewrite some of my parts around them. So it takes us a long time to do that, but it feels more cohesive that way.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't. It feels kind of almost like you're not just singing over the top of a track as well. When you do your vocals as well, it feels like you're kind of inside the structure of the song. When you're kind of writing that, how do you find that balance between the melody, the arrangement, and the storytelling?
You know what? I just whenever I get the arrangement right, like
Yeah,
for the type of riff, all of that just pops into my head, like melodies, the aggressive parts, and all that. And then from there, I just sing it as gibberish. And then once the gibberish starts to solidify, I do syllable counts on everything,
yep.
and then I write the lyrics, and that's it. And then what's really cool is that BC will come in behind me, and then he'll start accenting like some of my syllables and stuff. And I'm like, that's the best thing ever right there for me is getting those accents. Because these days, all you have the drummer do these days in music is follow the damn guitar,
Yeah.
and that bothers the shit out of me. Because everyone's done that.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So
do like that. It's almost like reshaping it till it feels right emotionally that you've got that connection as well to be able to come in and go, okay, now this feels a little bit more emotionally attached to it, or to be able to reshape it that way. Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
exactly. Lyrically, what space were you in when Meant to Be came together? What kind of were you pulling from emotionally or mentally when writing for this song?
Well, um, I kind of don't like pre-plan anything right when I write it.
Yep.
Um, some of that gibberish turns into sentences, right? And then
Yeah.
those sentences just naturally evolve. What Meant to Be for me personally, how I was feeling at the time is, um, that hopeless feeling that you get sometimes when you're working so hard at something, and in the end, it just didn't work out. That hopeless feeling. That's kind of what I wrote that about. Like that angst and that hopelessness that you feel, even though you tried so hard, but you just didn't quite get it. I wanted to put that into a song and then make it more relatable for everyone. At the same time.
Yeah, dude, on album, man. Have you released the name of the upcoming album title yet at all? Because I'm not sure if I
Yeah.
got my notes right. Intimate, is that
No, not intimate. It's inanimate.
Inanimate? There we go. Yeah, Inanimate, dude.
Yep.
I fucking need to use my glasses properly.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird word, right? But that's the name of the record is kind of like symbolism for what we've been as a band for the past 4 years. We've been inanimate, right? We haven't been alive. We haven't been really moving. But it also, for me, it's like the state of the music, right?
Yep.
Um, I think our product that we put together, it feels alive, it feels raw, and um, it's not inanimate, right? So it's
Yeah.
kind of a play on itself. Um, what's the word I'm looking for? It is uh, I can't think of it right now. It's on the top of on the tip of my tongue, but I can't think of it. So moving on.
Yeah, were you working with Chris Collier at all? I think I've seen that, got my notes right as well.
Yes. So Chris Collier is my best friend. I grew up
Yeah.
with him. I've been playing in a band, or I started my first band with him when I was 11 or 12 years old, and we just been friends throughout all the years. And so he knows me inside and out, like
Yeah.
music wise. He knows what he can push me to do, and he knows what I can't do. So it was just a no brainer to work with him again,
Yeah.
because I've worked with him on countless other albums and other songs and everything like that.
Yeah, Chris has had his hands in just about everything I see. I've seen him working with so many bands. Must be great to have a good friend like that in your corner as well, kind of who knows you so fucking well and kind of push you in places that you're like, I'm not so sure about, but they know. And then it just fucking works out so bloody well.
Absolutely, there's a mutual trust between us two. We can bounce ideas off of each other and not get offended by declining each other's ideas.
Yeah, we're getting a little too old for getting offended easily. Looking ahead now with Meant to Be kind of out there in Inanimate coming. What are you excited for people to hear in this next chapter?
Um, I just want them to hear some good tunes, man.
Yeah,
That's what I want them to hear. I want them to hear what we've been hidden away doing, right? There are a few tracks on this new record that I am so proud of,
yeah,
you know. And actually the last track that we wrote for this record is most likely the direction that we're moving to. And it's kind of I can't really explain it, but it's kind of like progressive in terms of like song structure. It's not so cookie cutter as we used to be, because you know when we first started this band, we were looking at this band as kind of like a hard rock band, right? And now, we've kind of gotten a lot heavier than we used to be, right? But in different ways. It's hard to explain, but you'll hear it once you hear the record. But
uh,
we also explore a lot more melodic um, parts, if you will.
damn straight. Can't wait to check it all out. Rich, mate, thank you so much for taking some time to have a chat with me about it all. It's always good catching up and seeing where you guys are at creatively with breaking in a sequence and where you are heading with Meant to Be and the Inanimate album coming out. There's clearly a lot building around this next chapter. I know you guys are looking forward to it, as I'm sure so many other fans for you. Everyone watching or listening, and make sure you go check out the latest single from Breaking in a Sequence, as well as all their other stuff. And there's stuff still to come out. Trust me, the neighbors are going to want to hear it really fucking loud. So crank it. Rich, last word, shout outs, thank yous are all on you, my friend.
Thank you to you. Thank you to TLG ZOID for believing in us and putting this all out for everyone to hear. And you can just call us biased for short.
Yeah, damn straight. I did that last time, man. I did that in the first interview. I'm like, bias, bias. I'm like, not this time. I'm fucking going the whole fucking
Oh
breaking
man.
in a sequence, bias, whatever it is, as long as you're playing it loud. Cheers, mate.
Yeah.